Welcome back to Pit Row. I'm your host, Ralph. We're going to talk about NASCAR Sprint Cup action like we do every week. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you've been listening, really appreciate you. Couple of things really quickly before we dive into last week's action in Nashville and then take a look at this week's action in Chicago. www.tigerbombsae.com. That is where you can listen to Pit Row. That's the Tiger Bomb website. Tiger Bomb is a company of mine that has various podcasts. So if you like NASCAR, this for you, right? If you are a fantasy football kind of a dude, we got the process coming back up pretty soon here, month or so. But we've also got, fantasy baseball, there's true crime. There's a couple of different things. And so that website is where you can find us. You can also check us out anywhere you listen to your other podcasts as well. And so if you want to find us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever, just search for Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment. This will pop up. You might be watching on YouTube. You can check that out through the Tiger Bomb website on the Pit Row page, or you can go directly to YouTube. Just search for Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment. Boom, podcast will come up. Also on social media, Facebook and Twitter, same thing, guys. Gonna wow you here. Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment. Search. You can find and keep up with us that way and catch links to the show. All right, that's the heavy lifting. Let's take a look at last week. What we saw at the Nashville Super Speedway, the Ally 400. We'll dive into that and take a look at this week. So let's race. We're going green last week. Chastain out front to start, but Logano good out the gate also. He got a very good restart there. So the order early becomes Chastain, Reddick, Logano, Truex, Haley. Truex battling Haley. Haley lets him go. It's early, doesn't want to have an unnecessary battle. But then Reddick staying with Chastain. Reddick looking for moments to challenge, but Chastain is up to defend. These two are a bit away from the pack at this point in the race. Byron able to move up here early. He's inside the top 5, 40 laps done in stage 1. Lap 59, the one is having problems passing lap traffic, and that really does keep Reddick involved. And Reddick passes. He's fast. He's been fast this weekend. 24 to go in stage 1. Reddick, Chastain, Byron, Truex, Hamlin. That's the order now. 4 to go in the stage, same order, and Reddick takes it. It's his stage. Incredible restart here for stage 2. 3 wide up top. Byron, Truex, Reddick staying 3 wide. They stay 3 wide for a while. Truex backs out finally, but did 3 or 4 laps 3 wide at this point in the race. That's pretty exciting stuff if you never watched NASCAR before. These, stock cars barreling down the track 4 laps in a row, like 3 wide. Pretty unheard of type stuff. He finds the low groove finally, though. Does Truex, and he's able to surpass Byron and Chastain, who are battling a little further up top. The order becomes Truex, Byron, Chastain, Reddick, Bell, Hamlin now. Lap 31 in stage 2. So the order at this point becomes Truex, Byron, Reddick, Chastain, Bell. The 47 and the 3 trading paint, and they're going at it, man. Pretty exciting stuff to watch there. Green flag pits here, lap 48 in the stage. Reddick spins out of nowhere. His tire is off. He lost the wheel completely. He had just pitted when this happened. So we get the caution out here. Completely lost the right rear. You could see that the thing was buckling while he was trying to get it to pit row. He was trying to nurse it back down the pit row. They saw right away something was wrong. That'll set him back, though, 2 laps down at that point. Also, we were in the middle of green flag pits at this point in the race. There's some guys who will benefit here because they hadn't taken their pit stop yet. We only had like 8 cars on the lead lap, but over 20 cars are going to get the wave around and come back to the lead lap at this point in the second stage in the race. Restart now. Whoa, the 6. What happened here? He fell back super early on the restart. If you guys could see it, it's like the swarm of cars just surround him on both sides, and he fans back into the middle, and they, close in around him. He fell back super early. Blaney's car is smushed. The 12. Kyle Busch caught in the fray as well. The mess started in the front with the 6 and kind of just shuffled back and got a lot of other people involved in that accident as well. Restart now after we cleaned up from there. Truex and Hamlin up front again. So here we go. And man, are they tight, door to door, up front. These two, mano a mano. And is there if you can take it in terms of the battle between these two. Truex is down low. Denny is up top. Hamlin finally clears Denny Hamlin. Finally clears Hamlin finally clears Truex on the high side, on the high line, and then Truex falls in behind him. Truex ain't going away though. He's led 50 laps at this point in the race. Truex trying to make a move and Denny blocking incredibly. Nice 1-2 battle going on here. Hamlin takes the stage. He takes stage 2. Hamlin with a nice pit stop. Truex 2. So they're going to duke it out to start stage 3 again. And so here we go. Last stage. We're green. Hamlin with a nice jump. He was inside. Truex up top. Chastain inside next to Truex now with Hamlin out front. 23 and the 5. Bumping and grooving here. Bumping and grinding. Larson and Wallace. We're still green now. Suarez fighting his way up to 8th. Had a tough day. Tried to make the most of it. Now the order goes with 75 laps to go. Hamlin, Truex, Chastain, Harvick, Elliott, Bell, and Byron. So 74 to go. Chastain wrestles second away from Truex. Able to slide right past him. It was pretty smooth. Hamlin took a guess on strategy, and it did not pay off. So he was able to make a quicker pass. 66 to go now. Pit window is open. You pit, you can make it to the end at this point in the race. Harvick has a rear tire flat, so he limps it to pit road. He was 4th at that time. Terrible for him at this point in the race. Really takes you out of contention for winning or placing very high top 5. So tough break for Harvick, who I was invested in last week. Alex Bowman, our value pick, staying out so long. He's able to overtake Chastain and Truex, and he's a considerable 3-second lead now. And so 37 to go. Bowman has to bring it in finally. He ran it for as long as he could, trying to get away from surrendering that lead, but he hadn't taken his green flag pit yet. So he basically rode it out for as long as he could, kind of gambling, hoping for another caution. You hope you get that caution with yourself in the front and then take the pit. It did not work that way. So with 37 to go, he brings it in. The order's now back to it wraps. So now that he's the last person on the wraparound, now we're back down to the order of Chastain, Truex, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Kyle Larson. 29 to go. Eric Jones inside the top 10. Can he hold it? 5 to go. Chastain still out front. He's just been cruising this whole way. 4 to go now. Larson and Byron have swapped, but other than that, same order. Chastain, Truex, Hamlin, Elliott, Larson, Byron, Bell, Jones. 2 to go. Truex going to make him earn it. But here comes the white flag, and Chastain takes it. He's in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. It took him a while to get there this year, but that win should get him into the playoffs, unless there's all the races have somebody not in playoff contention win or something weird like that. But great win for Chastain, great win for Trackhouse. He needed it. They get a huge win here in Nashville, so kudos to them. Raced a pretty clean race considering what he is more or less known for, if you want to look at it like that. So that's Nashville, and we get to look forward to Chicago this week. Some great performances. Personally, it did not pan out the way that I was thinking in terms of DraftKings and things like that, but that's the way it goes sometimes, especially when you have DNFs and guys that wreck. We can't always, have the controllables work in our favor. But there are things that, we can't always have the uncontrollables work in our favor, but there are controllable things. We are going to continue to try to give ourselves an edge by thinking about how can we think outside the box? How can we kind of separate ourselves? Because the reality is it's fun watching the races. It's fun watching, the strategy play out and everything. The edge for me, I don't know about you guys, the edge for me is having this translate into DraftKings FanDuel winnings. It's fun. It's fun having that be the backbone of what we've been building towards all week and then having success on Sunday. There's nothing like it unless you're playing football and baseball. So, I realize that may not be for everybody, but that daily fantasy aspect is something that we can grab hold of. And like literally, I'm trying to help you guys play for free. I can't promise you you're going to quit your job from doing this, but we can play for free. This is a lot cheaper than going to the movies in a lot of, places. Movies, $25 here in California, Los Angeles. You could play DraftKings for $5. So that's the reason. That's the why. That's why we want to get better at this. Not going to be deterred that no cash green this week, but we're going to come right back, storm right back to it. So we have the Grant Park 220. Very excited for this. The country party is going to continue. NASCAR is in Nashville last week. They're in Chicago this week. They've got Chain Smokers. They got Miranda Lambert. They got the Black Crows. They've got the culture for some other people, not my culture. They've got the culture of NASCAR really on display for Chicago this weekend. If you don't know, there's a big weekend in Chicago. They usually have what's called the Taste of Chicago. It's a big thing for all the restaurants. People come out. It's a big festival, makes a lot of money for the city. This eclipsed that. They moved the Taste. It's down the road now. It's big business for Chicago. This big business for NASCAR. They used to race Joliet. We don't do that anymore, but this is a nice welcome back. And they're actually going to be downtown Chicago. There's celebration. It's 4th of July weekend. We've got the shows going on. There is a ton of stuff. If you are in town, get to it. If you're in town and you're listening to this, you know you better be down there. But tell a friend, bring them down there too. You don't have to like NASCAR to go, but if you stay and you hang out, I think you may like NASCAR when you leave, or at least like it a little bit more. Let's say it like that. But if we look forward to this race, we want to take particular look at this. I'm very excited for this race. When I look at the map of how they're going to race through downtown, we're talking literal downtown Chicago. Guys, I'm from Chicago. That's my White Sox hat. The place that they're talking about racing is phenomenal. Millions and millions of people traverse their life, their job. They commute in and off these streets, Lakeshore Drive. These are big commuter avenues. And we're going to do it up with stock cars on Sunday. This is really exciting stuff, guys. So again, probably because I'm from the city there, but just the idea that we're going to go inside a place like that. Like, I think for me, the only other thing you could say to make it more exciting would be like, oh, we're going to do this in Miami as well. That would be a cool place, Miami Beach, to do that too. But we're going to take what we have in a summer Chicago. The fog is going to dissipate. It's a great weekend to be in the city. There's baseball in the city. It's a fun time. If we take a look at what we can expect on Sunday, Michael McDowell and AJ Allmendinger, these guys have competed in street courses in different series. These guys are, I think, the people that are most familiar with street course racing. You got to get them in the lineup for sure. We got to expect, outside of Rex, some nice performances from these two guys, particularly McDowell. But both, for sure, don't miss the boat. Both finished inside the top 10 just 3 weeks ago at Sonoma Raceway to build momentum as we, take a stab at Chicago this week, and they'll be on the same tire setup. Ty Gibbs had success in these road courses, has had success duking it out in road courses against the likes of Kyle Larson. Don't get no better than that. Let's be aware of him this weekend as well. Joey Logano, I want to pay special attention to Logo, Mr. Cup Series champion, defending his championship every week here. Listen, something about Joey. His team goes in, they prep well when this is the inaugural race. They do this better than anybody else. We don't know what the track looks like. We don't have track history. We're going to try to figure out how to run this for the first time. Don't nobody do it better than Joey Logano and company. He's taking the inaugural checkered flag at Bristol Dirt, LA Coliseum, and Worldwide Technology Raceway. These are all recent. This is the guy right here to be thinking about as a dark horse, just because it's nothing particular about this track. As I said, it's their understanding of how do we prep for something we've never seen before. Now, there are other people like Hendrick Racing who are going to, once we've been there, once we've seen it, we're going to come with a really good setup, right? Joe give people to. Another thing to sort of take, I guess, stock of is there's going to be multiple spotters to help navigate, because we got 12 turns. This is a really cool course here through downtown. 3 locations where spotters are going to be stationed. Toyota has won both road course races this season. So think about that as you're doing lineup construction. Giving you a lot of nuggets already here. You got to have your Toyota. Should have logo exposure. McDowell, Allmendinger. This is building itself now, right? And so where you want to jump and pivot is by taking this and making it the core. Like if you're playing on DraftKings, you can fit in 5 drivers. Make this the core, and then you pivot 1 or 2, right? Let's do it like that, and that's how we'll get to success. I think that's a good formula for that website at least. Going to try to make this next part as quick as possible, guys. We don't want this episode running too long, but man, this is a brand new track, and this ain't like standing up any of those other tracks, like I guess St. Louis or whatever, like Wilkesboro. This ain't that, y'all. We've got something special here. So let's go turn by turn navigation. The start finish is going to be on Columbus Drive in front of Buckingham Fountain in Grant Park. Then you go 940 feet toward Balboa Drive. Get, tingles just reading these names. I lived in Lincoln Park before I moved out here. Grew up in this area. Again, to think that stock cars are going to race around here is pretty crazy. Turn one, 90 degrees left on East Balboa Drive. 900 feet then towards DuSable on Lakeshore Drive with Museum Campus with Grant Park's fields to the right. Then turn two is going to be a 90-degree turn on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Then you're going to go 1,350 feet on DuSable Lakeshore Drive with Lake Michigan on your left. So these guys are cruising with the lake on the left, baby. And if you've ever driven that, this time of day, sunshine is going to be with you. It's going to be shining bright up there. So have those visors ready. Excuse me. Turn three is going to be a slight right-hand curve, staying on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. 825 feet toward Roosevelt Road in front of the Field Museum at the museum campus. And then turn four, 90 degrees right on East Roosevelt Road. Then you're going to go 375 feet toward Columbus Drive to turn five. That's a 90-degree turn on the Columbus Drive, heading towards Balboa Drive again, 2,050 feet onto Columbus Drive. Turn six then becomes 90 degrees left on the Balboa again. 1,000 feet after that, down Balboa Drive, across the bridge. I think this is the bridge that goes over the Chicago River that divides downtown basically into two. This is incredible. It's going to be incredible to watch on Sunday when they have the cameras on and everything. But anyways, cross that bridge over railroad tracks toward Michigan Avenue. Turn 7, 90-degree right on Michigan Avenue, the Magnificent Mile. Then 500 feet on the Mag Mile. Turn 8, right on Congress Plaza, street version of chicane. Just over 500 feet, you take that towards Ida B. Wells Drive. Ooh, more chills. Turn 9, middle of Congress Plaza, where it crosses over Ida B. Wells Drive, and then another 500 feet back to Michigan Avenue. Turn 10, right on Michigan Avenue, 575 feet toward East Jackson Drive. Turn 11, 90 degrees, right on East Jackson, back towards the lake, adjacent to the Art Institute. Then you're going to take that for 950 feet back to Columbus Drive, back across the railroad tracks, over to turn 12, 90 degrees right on Columbus Drive, 925 feet back down Columbus Drive to the Burlington Santa Fe line in front of the Buckingham Fountain. Incredible. Incredible. I know to some of you, you don't know live inside of Chicago. That means nothing to you. Watch it. It's going to be incredible. There's going to be no cautions at the end of the stages on lap 20 and lap 45. We have no previous winners because of the new race. Cup Series will run the same Goodyear tire setup that was used at Coda and Sonoma earlier this season. We're going to roll with 2 practice sets, 5 for the race. Guys, that being said, I've given you a lot to look forward to, and I want to call out specifically Ty Gibbs. I want to call out Tyler Reddick. I'm looking at Rowdy on Sunday, Kyle Busch. I'm looking at Joey Logano, as I said, Kyle Larson. Priest. I think Priest is somebody you can look at as a salary saver to fit in some of these more expensive guys. Austin Cindric, Truex, Hamlin, Bell. But we don't have a history here. Anything can happen. So don't be afraid to mix in, various of these other guys. I do want to see some RFK. I do want to see, Brad K. I do want to see Chris Buescher, his teammate. I do want to see what these guys can do. Don't abandon Stuart Haas. Don't abandon Harvick. But very good to get diversified this week because we don't know what's coming up. But that's going to be the race. So you guys are going to watch. I hope it's going to be exciting for you. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend, whatever, long, middle of the week, whatever you want to call it. Don't make any unwise decisions that you can't cover. All right. Enjoy the race. Good luck if you're playing DraftKings. We'll come back here next week, talk about what we saw, and get ready for the following week. Peace.